This time I have a FOSTEX D10. This is a studio type, what they call master recorder. Digital audio tape, obviously. This one's coming up with error code 02. The fellow that owns it doesn't really know much about it other than he says it doesn't work and they'd like to get it serviced. So since I seem to be the expert on DAT, apparently, I'm going to take a shot at this one. I don't have a service manual for it. Can't even get one because the website that has them is down right now, but let's see what we can figure out on this one. This is the FOSTEX D10 digital master recorder. Of course, it's digital audio tape, or DAT, and it doesn't work. So before I even power it up, we're going to pop the top. One of the screws is stripped, which says someone's been in here before. I'm not the first one into this unit, so I wonder what I'll find. Oh, a note. Actually, you know what? It smells like burning transformer. Tape pieces stuck in mechanism. That's why we don't fire things up until we actually get into it to see what the problem is. But this thing smells like a burnt transformer. I can smell it right now. I'll wind the mechanism manually up. And not to worry, the transformer is not burnt. It just had that odor of a hot transformer. And look for the tape pieces. Looks like the guides are in the loaded position right now. Did this thing go completely dead? Is the transformer popped on that? Is this why it's not working? Well, we'll find out. It smells like a burnt transformer. Like, you know, it's got that crispy burnt transformer smell. I don't know if it is or not, but I guess we'll find out pretty quick. Maybe I'll plug this into the dim bulb, just in case it's got a short. I hit the power button. Nothing. Oh, it lights up, so the transformer's not blown. Okay, why does it smell like that? It smells like it has that burnt winding smell, but it's not burnt. That part's working. Interesting. Open, close. All the lights are flashing on here. It's got an error code. Error code DE002. That might be a missing voltage. Right, let's check the regulators. These things have a tendency to pop regulators. Not just these, but like these machines in general. Especially the Tascams, they have a real tendency to pop 5-volt regulators. But let's just grab the meter, my new favorite meter. The reason I'm using this is because the test leads on the Fluke are damaged. And this is just as accurate, and it's rechargeable. So I don't have to worry about buying batteries. So I got all the lights blinking on the front. And it says error code 002. I don't know what that means, but I'm assuming that something's detected that's not right. So let's just take a look at some voltages here. We'll check some check some of the regulators. There's a bunch of regulators along the side here. We'll check those first. Just find a suitable place to stick the ground probe. Probably right over here. One of these holes will be fine. All right. Okay. Let's check the input here. Is 7 volts, and the output. This is a switch. This is a switching regulator. 4 volts, 5 volts, and then there's a control. That's a switchable regulator. This one here is a simple 3-terminal regulator. Input is 15 volts. Output is 12 volts. That's a 12-volt regulator. Let's go over to the other ones over here. What do we got here? We've got 17 volts in, 15 volts out. That one's working. And this one here, the input is a negative regulator. Negative 17 in, negative 15 out. So those ones are working, but by no means they're the only regulators. There's some more down here. Let's check this one. $15 is the input, and the output is 5. That's a 5-volt regulator. That one's working. Let's go to the other one here. Negative 15, negative 4.9. That one looks like it's working too. There's another one back here, I can see. Let's check that one out. What do we got here? There's two more back here. What do we got here? Input negative 28, output negative 23. That should be okay. What's this one here? On this one, can't see what it is, but I can measure it. Negative 28 in, negative 7 out. So the voltages appear to be there, at least on the power board. This does have a lithium battery over here. I wonder if it's gone dead. That sometimes will throw codes. There's a lithium battery over here. Sometimes when the battery goes dead, they'll throw codes. It shouldn't affect it though, because the battery is on this one just for the real-time clock. I just powered it off and powered it back on. Yeah, it's pulling the same error code again. Now it could be a mechanical problem. Just looking to see where the guides are. The guides look like they're in the loaded position, so it could be a mechanical problem that's preventing it from working. Something jammed, perhaps. So the next step is I will pull the transport. Normally I would go to my old standby Hi-Fi engine and download a service manual for this so I could look up what error code 002 is. Unfortunately, they are down for maintenance, so no looking up a code for this. I'm going to have to pull the mechanism and see if there's something mechanically that's causing the problem. It's these 4 red screws that kind of come out, and then the whole transport probably lifts out as one piece. I like it when manufacturers get your attention by putting in colored screws. And there should be a couple plugs I got to take out here. Probably got to take out that, namely that one, and these wires. Where are they going? That plug there, I think. That one comes out, and the one for the light. It's always the light that's in the way, right? Just there. Get that out of the way. Okay, now the transport's out. Let's take a look and see what's going on with it. Is something jammed? Maybe. And of course I do have to remove these other screws now because I do need to get the cassette loader assembly off the mechanism. So these screws do have to come out now. Okay, that's out of the way. Yeah, mechanism is loaded. So is this why it's not working? It's jammed? Possibly. Possibly that's what the problem is. Looks like there's tape. Oh, there's tape all wrapped around the capstan here. So we're going to remove the little circuit board here from the bottom. With that plugged in? I think that one plugged in there. Okay. We'll remove the board from the bottom here so that I can get to. That might be the error. It might be just wound around, tape wound around the capstan and stopping the motor from turning, and that might be the error. It's a mechanical problem, I think. So we'll just pop the circuit board out of the way, and yeah, the capstan motor is seized pretty good here. Let's see if we can wind this tape out by hand. This one got hungry. That's a lot of tape to be wound around the capstan shaft there. No wonder it didn't work. Yeah, there's a fair bit of tape wound in here. Did a good job. Holy crap. Reminds me of that fateful night when I was working in TV and I was doing master control, and the one and only Panasonic NV9800 that was left in the studio because the engineer had taken the 9850 away and was still working on it, and I was on the air, and the 3/4 inch deck decided to do exactly this. It decided to wind about, I think it was probably about, I don't know, 5 or 6 meters of tape. It was a lot. It was wound around the capstan shaft, and of course that put me off the air for sure. Okay, this capstan motor appears to be what also operates the mechanism here, it looks like. And I bet you this stuff is, I bet you the grease is all dried up on here, and this is all seized up. Well, that's free. Okay, let's just see what happens here. I can find the loading motor. There's a mode switch down here, and there's another mode switch over here, and some ribbon cables that like to tear. I'm curious if I were to put this back together, whether it would unload. Like, everything seems to be turning okay now. It's not seized up. With all that tape wrapped around there, the capstan motor wouldn't have been able to turn. But what I don't know is what actually loads the mechanism. Like that. Oh, there we go. That's what does it. There. Okay, so that's unloaded now. It's driven through gears here. You see there's gears on the side here. Probably wouldn't hurt to put a little bit of grease on them as well. If I turn it this other way, will it load or not? There it goes. Okay, so it is loading okay. I'm going to put some grease on here. We get some grease. We'll put a bit of grease on the rails and on the gears over here, and then I'll reassemble it and see whether it will still throw that error code. But yeah, wound up tape there, that certainly is not good. Okay, everything's moving smooth here. I like that this guide is stationary on this one. You see, guide pulls in behind it, but one of the angle posts here is permanently attached in a stationary position. curious about these mode switches here. Wonder if they're keyed or not. Let's just pop it and see. I hope I'm not going to knock something out of alignment. It's nice to have the service manual handy when you're doing this stuff. I'm going to try to lift it straight up and hopefully nothing will move. I hope it's keyed. Let's just lift it straight up and see. It is keyed. Okay, so that's good. It goes the switch here. There's a little peg here, and it goes into the hole. So I can give this thing a shot of cleaner. This is it over here. That's the plug that was plugged in over there. See, I'm just going to move it away just so I can hit it with some cleaner. Not have to worry about getting cleaner where cleaner shouldn't go. So I'll give this thing a shot of cleaner. I can't take it apart because it's sealed. But I'm going to give it a shot of cleaner and spin it. That way at least it will be clean. I did that away from the machine because I didn't want to have overspray going where I didn't want it. That's why I moved away. I'm going to inspect the pinch roller here while I'm at it. Make sure it's not. Yeah, it feels okay. It's not sticky or anything, so it may be okay. That's the concern when you're dealing with this old equipment like this, right? Is what shape things like pinch rollers are in. A lot of these DAT machines are not in bad shape. I've only seen a few of them that have been really bad. There is another mode switch. I believe that's another mode switch there. It is keyed. It's the same type of switch. We'll just give this one a shot of cleaner as well. Got some cleaner in there. We'll spin the switch around a bit. And then pop it back together. We'll throw some lubricant into the gears down here as well, the cam gear. Now, I don't know if this is going to fix it or not, but there's a pretty good chance it will. I think our chances of it fixing it are greater than not fixing it. All right, we'll plug it in. And power it up and see whether I get that same error message again. Is it sticking? Oh. That might be sticking here. I might not be loaded in correctly. I think it's sticking. Okay, we'll see why it's sticking. Yeah, something's catching this. Okay, well, at least we're not getting the error code. That's a good thing. Let's see if it will open with it out of the machine. Okay, it's still sticking, so why is it sticking? I guess I have to pull the top off again and see why it's sticking. I will put it back together with the drawer out because that might have been what was causing it, is something that is in place when the like a flap or something that's open when the drawer is out and it's closed when the drawer is in. So maybe it has to be reassembled with the drawer sticking out. Seemed to go back together a lot easier with the drawer out than it did with the drawer in, so maybe something was sticking. I'll run it through the motions outside of the unit by hand, make sure that nothing is sticking, which I can do just by turning the loading pulley. Let's try it again. Open. That looks like it's working. Let's mount the chassis and see if it works. Let's try a tape. It may have reset itself. Nope. That doesn't sound good. It's not fully, it's not completing the loading cycle. We'll just eject. So then we pull the error code 2 again. But now it seems to be loaded. Well, isn't that interesting? No, it's not. Let's just eject. So something's not right. I'll have to investigate a little further. I'm just inspecting the cam gear right now. This is what moves the guides back and forth. The cam gear is not damaged in any way, so I wonder if the mode switch is just not in the right time, because basically all this does is this just moves the mechanism into place like that, and then the mode switch should then tell the system that it is fully loaded. What's happening is it's hitting the end of its travel here, but nothing out of the ordinary down here. Everything looks normal. Put some grease in this gear while I've got it apart. Everything else looks fine in here. Everything moves freely. It's like there's nothing sticking. Make sure that switch goes into that hole properly here. Make sure there's no timing errors, because it could, in theory, miss the hole. But it isn't. It's in the hole. I can see it. put the tape loader back on again, and we'll give it another try and see whether it's going to work. Mechanically, everything looks to be fine. It may have been just that mode switch was out of position slightly, but there's no, like, I don't see any broken parts. I don't see any broken gears. That's why I was looking at the cam gear to see if anything was broken on it, but it looks perfectly fine. Okay, mechanism back in. We'll try it again and see what happens. Might this thing actually play? Oh, let's put enough tape in and push play. I see the counter is going, and it does play. Oh, not playing properly. I'm getting errors. That might be tape itself. Oh, I can't play this, so I just want to make sure it's not got a problem. It's not going to eat the tape. I'll put another tape in, because I obviously can't play that track, because that will definitely. This is a tape that I make recordings on the back end of the tape. But I just wanted to make sure that it was not going to damage the tape. And then I can put this tape in, which is Music Bakery, and I can play this. But not worried about that. That's just a plastic gear. Now it goes to be faster with no sound. And full fast forward. Back to play. Let's go skip ID back. It seems to be working. And then I guess I hit play to start it. Yeah, it queues up. Nice display on this unit. I'll show you guys the display. It really looks cool. So this is our time code, our absolute time. 0 hours, 10 minutes, 10 seconds in frames. I guess if I don't know how this thing works. Local, I don't know what GPI does. Input analog, optical, or digital. Sampling frequency 48 or 44. Emphasis on and off the manual level controls. How do I cue this thing up? There's going to be a cue. There's a button over here. Cue search. Let's try this. I like that. You can count the frames. 31 frames, 32, and then back to 0. Now this one here will have, right? Oh no, that was the 34 frame. So sorry. So it's this frame will have, it'll go from 0 to 32, and then this one will go from 0 to 32, and then this one will go from 0 to 33. See? And that's how DAT was laid out. 33 frames, and then 34, starting at 0. RAM scrub, RAM repeat. What is that? Oh, it's the tape's not moving now. We're scrubbing in RAM. Wonder how many seconds it holds in memory. This is the RAM that I'm playing now. To see the tape's not moving. I guess it. How many seconds has it got here? So that's the limit of the RAM. Okay, and then back to full play. That's kind of cool. We'll cue it up to the next track. And I'll go back. This is track 4. Let's go back to track number. I guess this is going to go back to track 1. Yeah, it's going to go back to track 2. It's cued. Play lights blinking on the front, just to prompt the operator to. If I want to cue ahead, I don't know how any of these buttons work, so I'm not even worried about them. Display time. You can even put the date on it, and a regular counter, and then back to absolute time. Display level shows any errors, our margin, and the actual dB in live, which you guys can't see, but there it is. Display level. So this is our errors. Any tape errors, any read errors are going to show up here. If there's any error reporting, error count, if a tape's worn out, or if there's an alignment problem or so forth, they would show up as an error. See, I know there's no alignment problem because 1, it's playing perfect, but 2, there's no error showing up. The next one is your margin. This locks your margin. So this tape was recorded to 0.3 dB. This is live level. And then back to the errors again. Display time, I'll show you the remaining time. You can record the date on here. My deck doesn't do that. My deck just records a time code. Right, skip ahead to the next track. It'll queue up, and then it'll sit there and wait. And then when I press play, I'm assuming that if I hit push preview, it'll probably play the beginning of the track. Maybe not. I don't know how it works. So auto cue. Now it's ready to go, and then just go. See, it cues up right to the beginning of the track, and then when I press the play, I go. That's pretty cool. That would be like for radio stations, for example, that we're using these. There's a difference between just cue, which goes to the start of the track, but if the music doesn't start immediately, there might be half a second or so of silence. So then this one here cues it up so that when you hit the button, anyway, this unit appears to be working. So I'm going to rewind it now. If I can remember how to do that. Stop. Hit rewind. I guess I hit twice to go to full rewind. There we go. Rewind back to the beginning and stop. I'm going to put another tape in, a long tape, and just let it play. But this one's fixed. So there you go. Another FOSTEX D10 saved from the scrap heap. Before going, I'm going to put a tape in that there's a beginning of tape. This tape has many errors. I've got it in error reading mode. This tape is badly worn at the beginning. So we're going to see a whole ton of errors here initially. 99%. So many errors it's muting it. Once it gets past the section of tape where it's bad, the error count will drop. But this tape is a worn out tape that's had several hundred passes on it. But the beginning of it is kind of buggered up. So there we go. Now it's going to get a bit better. But you see now our errors are down to nothing. And that's just because the beginning of this tape was damaged. Anyway, I'm going to let this thing play, make sure everything's good on it, and I'll say thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.